Okay, just like to welcome everybody. It is 7 o'clock, so we're going to try to get started out of respect for folks of time. I want this to be informal, so I don't want folks, or next time, if it's 7:08, like, no, come and go as you please. I want this to be informal. We're in a small enough setting here. So we are just super excited that you guys are here, and as we kind of talk about what's going on district-wide, and we'll have plenty of question and answer time here at the end. So before we get started, let's just kind of our folks, I'd like to just kind of introduce yourself and our role in the district. Joe, you want to start?
Joe Martin, Director of Technology.
Ryan Burns, Director of Communications.
Gary Versaloni, Science, Secondary Education.
Brenna Hatfield, Director of Quality Improvement.
Shelby Scarborough, Sue Bass, Performing Arts.
Frank Shedar, Chief Planner.
Stephanie Satterfield, Secretary.
Hi, Gabriel Wittenberger, Manager of the Performing Arts Building.
Dawn Bearhorse, Student Information Planning and Assessment.
And we have Ken Immo, one of our board members here, so thank you, Ken, for joining us. So basically, here's kind of the from 80,000 feet on a construction update. Where we are, we have Carrie Gamper with Architects Alliance and Mitchell from Natholz here. As far as an update on that, I wanted to touch on boundary lines, and Dr. Schindorf is going to give an overview of our reading initiative to ensure that all of our students are having above grade reading levels. So we're super excited about that. So let's, Mitchell and Carrie, can you guys give us an overview? There's two parts of Jefferson City High School, the renovations, and Capital City High School. So Carrie, would you start us on that and just kind of give us an overview, please?
Okay, thank you guys. I'm Kerry Gamble with the Architects Alliance. Mitchell Fumiller with Natholz Construction is the man in charge over at Capital City High School. So if you have any questions, more detailed questions, construction, he's your guy. Obviously work continues over there. I want to say it's frankly an enormous effort with the school district staff, obviously the Board of Education. The faculty and maintenance crew are being a super support as far as moving students around to stay out of construction. Bob Weber, Frank Underwood, John Moon, Wes Schulte, and Jacob Adams over at Jeff City High School have helped kids move into different areas as the project is being phased. All remaining square footage at Jeff City High School is complete in design. What that means is we put out an early package. Now the rest of the high school is out in design, and Mitchell and his crew are reviewing those subcontractors and awarding contractors. So the design work is basically done at Jefferson City High School. You see the fencing around Jeff City High School. There's also temporary stairs and ramps, again, to route the kids around high school. Safety is a priority. Area G, which was along Lafayette Street, the top floor of that is done and being used as swing space. The two lower floors below that, also in Area G, are about to wrap up. We're going to punch those out middle of October, so people can see that. And they'll be moving on late October to Nichols Career Center, the lower floor. That'll be starting in mid to late October. That basically phase 2. From there, they'll go to phase 3, which is area F, the science labs, and then that'll be followed by B and E, which is the gymnasium, cafeteria, admin, that area. While all that renovation is going on in the high school, mid to late of this month, we'll be starting on the connector between the two buildings. So the thing that really ties both buildings together, which is the media center, the lobby, SRO's offices, reception, that will all start at the end of this month. And that is basically a new construction project while all the renovations going on. So it will last till the end of the project in late 2019, early 2020. Some people ask about abatement, asbestos abatement in the building. A large amount was done last summer, and that continues to happen as we move into different phases in much smaller amounts. There is a standard of care for asbestos removal, and I will say that the district, even though there's lots of safety precautions put in place, the district has made the decision none of that work happens while kids are on site. So it happens in the summer, happens on Christmas breaks, things like that. Furniture, fixtures, and equipment, that's obviously an enormous effort. There's some new furniture in high school that is being reused, but by and large it's all new. And currently that is being designed with the classroom settings in mind. Teachers have been really involved in that, faculty, and really great input as far as flexibility, different types of learning, that sort of thing. So as soon as we wrap up the classrooms, which are equal in both schools, we'll be moving to admin, and libraries, and lobby stuff, things like that. But the main part, the faculty, teacher, and student furniture is being designed right now. That will be another chance, by the way. There's an incredible amount of, if you go to one of the construction sites, you'll see lots of local trucks there. So another wave of contracts that are going to be awarded, and there will be a lot of public vendor involvement, is the furniture fixtures packages. If you've toured the school, any of that, you'd see some colors in the outlying areas. I want to make real clear that the color scheme for both schools is that when you enter the building, the lobby, the gymnasiums, foyers, you're going to see overwhelming school spirit. Red and black at JC, and you're going to see blue and silver at Capital City High School. Beyond that, the buildings are very large, so there's clusters of classrooms, and to help kids navigate which area they're to be in, there are small amounts of accent colors in those areas. So if you see any of the current construction in the outlying areas, it's an off color. The lobbies and public spaces will be very heavy in school spirit, so that's coming very soon. The Little Theater, if you're familiar with the Little Theater, it's been renovated into a black box theater, which is much more flexible, and both schools will have a black box theater in it. So the work is being done on Jeff City High School right now. The floor is being leveled, and it's a much more flexible space. Basically, it's a fine arts classroom, and both schools will have one of those.
And I might just touch on that.
Sure.
So the first time somebody said black box, you Google black box, maybe you guys are all familiar with that, but it's just much more flexible, in the setting, so I encourage you to do that. It's something we feel confident in the next 25, 50, 7,500 years, we'll do the settings, facilities that we need. Maybe you guys are all about it.
And of course, that ties in with this facility, which is more formal, a larger capacity fine arts facility. So it's very intentional to put black box theaters in the high schools. Let's see. Capital City High School. The first site work package is done. We're getting into the second site work package. So it looks like a lot's happening out there. A lot more is going to happen when we start working on the practice fields and moving that there. The street between Mission Street and Creek Trail we're very well into that. Curb and gutter starting to grow up on that. As far as building progress, structural concrete is precast panels 62%, structural steel 76%, waterproofing 50%, earthwork 56%, site utilities 90%, and new city street is about 36%. Stormwater retention. Stormwater retention, that's a big subject. With this much construction, you'll start to see what we call retention ponds. And by law and by code, the school district has designed that so that it collects the water on site as it falls and releases it equal to or slower than if the building wasn't there. So there are a lot of eyes on that. It's been designed by Central Missouri Professional Services here in town. It's reviewed by city code officials, by by state code review, and ultimately federal jurisdiction has control over that. So a lot of effort being spent to contain stormwater, and like I said, the end product will release that equal to or frankly slower than if this project never happened.
Will those be permanent or temporary?
Permanent, yes, sir. They look like dry ponds right now. They typically won't have water in them, but in the event, they will fill up, and there's a large culvert there to slowly release that water. Good question.
We're not having bass fishing team stop.
It's important that we do that though, because Wares Creek has in recent years flooded quite a bit. As I know the Parks and Rec has had to deal with the ice flow.
And it's standard civil engineering practice, but it's also overseen by a lot of agencies. Also, we have the land disturbance permit for just arrived for this Capital City High School, which means that the work in and around the creeks can start. Did I say that right?
Yep.
You have the permit.
Yeah, correct. We got that this week.
That's all I have. Anybody like me to stop talking? Any questions?
Have
Yes,
you
sir.
run into any big surprises at the renovation site that are slowing you down or speeding you up?
We've run into some prizes. I don't know that they've slowed us down. The first one that comes to mind is removal of some of the ceilings and plaster. There were some braces up there to hold some walls, and some of those walls had to be shored up before the new finishes come in. I guess that's a surprising. Other surprising.
For a building as old and added on as that one is, I think we've ran into less than we would have been afraid of. So it's been going well.
Some of the flooring was under carpet and we couldn't see it, so as we've taken the carpet, we're polishing the current floors to be a polished concrete, which is extremely durable, extremely low maintenance. That'll be both between each school will be the same. At Capital City High School, we're polishing new concrete. At Jefferson City High School, we're polishing old concrete. So there was some concern whether that would look good. It's turning out great.
Would that be a slipping hazard?
No, there's a grit to it.
Oh, okay.
For that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the contractors and subcontractors are doing a great job with that.
All we want to do is go and see the one.
Anybody else have questions? Thank you.
Gary, thank you. Mitchell, thank you. There's so many different parts to it. They've done an outstanding job, and it's a work in progress, but thank you guys. Next, I wanted to touch on our boundary lines. The board approved at our September board meeting our boundary lines for Capital City High School, for Jeff City High School. Our elementary school boundary lines, we had 11 elementary schools. Those boundary lines are not changing at all. The primary change is that Thorpe Gordon Elementary School, which currently some of the students, after they attend Thorpe Gordon, go to Lewis and Clark, and some go to Thomas Jefferson. With the new boundary line changes at the middle and high school level, is that all of Thorpe Gordon will attend Lewis and Clark. The other part of this is Cedar Hill, which currently all attend Lewis and Clark. Some of that around Capital City High School will attend Thomas Jefferson. So basically, it was a swap between the two. The overall guiding factor of where students go to school, you go to school where you reside. Okay? So if you attend Lewis and Clark, you'll attend Jeff City High School. If you attend Thomas Jefferson, you'll go to Capital City High School. If you want to go to a different school, you can apply for a special permission. You can currently do that now. You have students that apply for special, parents and students applying for special permission. They reside in a certain school and they want to go to either one of the other middle schools or another elementary school. They have that right. We are trying to tighten that process. We understand with especially the secondary level and high school recruiting wise, that is something that it's just a reality. So we're trying to tighten that process that you go to school where you reside. If you think you have you want to attend the other one, you have to go through a process with no guarantees on that. So that is the underlying route as you go to school where you reside. There's some grace period time that we've shared before, and I'll just kind of touch on those. If you are, with the changes of Thorpe Gordon and Cedar Hill, so for example, a 6th grade student right now that attended K through 5 at Thorpe Gordon and is in the area Thomas Jefferson. But starting next fall would be in Lewis and Clark. The underlying issue of the school where he resides, so he would be switching to Lewis and Clark under the umbrella of the school where he resides. But because he had attended 6th grade at Thomas Jefferson, we do not want to split him from his classmate. So he has the choice of continuing at Thomas Jefferson Middle School and then ultimately then Capital City High School. If at any time he's like, you know what, I want to go to where I reside, he can do so. If she goes there, it's like, you know, I don't like it. I want to be first chair at Trump and I'm fourth chair, so I'm going to go back. They can apply for special permission, but there's no guarantees with that. So there's some different wrinkles. We tried having 4 or 5 principals guide the special permission process versus having 47 rules for 47 different scenarios. We try to be very broad with them.
Do you limit the number with the special permission, the number who can go to a different school?
Do we limit that?
Yeah.
We do not limit that. The limiting factor is the enrollment and the availability or the space-wise
Okay, you have not enough room.
in our building. So, but every situation is different. And so you try to, and there are folks unfortunately that manipulate you and that might not even be completely honest. So we're trying, it's unfortunate, but we're trying to realize we're setting a precedent, following policy, all the different parts of it. So, any other questions on that? Could we bring up here, Ryan, could you bring up, I just want to show what will be, I hope, finished in the next month, and we should have had this done before, is you could put in an address and it would say, if you live at this address, that you would go to this elementary school, this middle school, and this high school. That will be finished. We saw a draft on that. We changed some colors on it. That's not available here. I just want to show our district map. So right now, if you go, this is jcschools.us, our district website. You can go to About Us right here, and it's got district maps. You can click on that. This is what we currently have. It will be further expanded. Let's just go down to our district map right here. So this is our current school district map. This will be updated with regards to where the middle school and the high school secondary boundary lines. You can see here, let's go back to the web page, please, and the scenario. Let's go to the home page, please. Just back to the main, and go down here to the quick links boundary lines. And go down to the scenario of our current middle school. Well, scroll down. I'm wanting to see our current middle school boundary lines. That's what I'm wanting to see. Yeah, go ahead and click on the final 3 scenarios. This is scenario C. View map here, C, please. This is our current middle school boundary lines. You can see. So basically, the coral, whatever official color that is. Attends Thomas Jefferson, the light blue here attends Lewis and Clark. So really the change, I just kind of wanted to get your bearings from the big picture. This downtown portion here that currently right here is Thorpe Gordon that goes to Thomas Jefferson. All of Thorpe Gordon will go to LC. And this right here is Cedar Hill. And basically a chunk right here will be a part of Thomas Jefferson and Capital City High School.
Is Cedar Hill the only elementary school that will be
Split? Yes, it is. So right now, the only one Thorpe. We'll still have one, and that was not ideal, and that was one of the goals, was to not split any of our elementary schools. And we looked at a scenario where we weren't. We looked at about 6 variations of that scenarios of moving some of that to south. At the end of the day, we didn't feel like we had the space at South Elementary to do that. So we are splitting south, but we're continuing to look down the road. One thing through the boundary committee was we want to look at this more often. And we communicated through our board. We want to, if the poverty rates between the 2 schools ever became double digits or greater 2 consecutive years, that we would look at boundary lines. I anticipate looking at boundary lines, even if it's not double digits difference between the 2 schools, just because it's the right thing to do. So we don't want to have the haves and have-nots. We want to have all students have the same opportunities regardless of what school you go to. So, any other questions on boundaries? Yes. I anticipate, is that in writing? I know. I am saying, I am saying that is not in writing. I'm saying we will look at this every 3 to 5 years. Through our policy committee that we will, but I just shared the boundary committee asked that when that disparity on the property rates become double digit or more 2 consecutive years, kind of as that's a check that, hey, you have to. Yes, I anticipate every 3 to 5. We're not going to, Columbia looks at about every year. We want folks to feel confident that, hey, if I buy a home here in a certain area, that I'll know where I'm going to school. But we also want folks to understand that, hey, things change. And we're going to look at this on a more regular basis. I think that's it. I hope folks feel confident in that. Yes, sir. How are they measured? The percent of students that qualify for free and reduced, and it's based across the state, across the nation. That is a factor. I know we've had many discussions in here, or some of our town halls that, well, why don't you look at some of those that do not attend school to determine? That's very subjective to do that, but it is based on the free and reduced rates of each school.
Do
Yes.
you, take the paperwork and process it for free reduced lunches, even those schools that are at automatic 5% free lunch?
We do not. It's not allowed. So basically, the actual rates on our 4 schools, I believe, and help me if I'm wrong here, on Thorpe Gordon, East, Cowboy Hills, and South are the 4 that is on paper says 100%. The actual rates are from, we know what those actual rates are, but because there's basic criteria, if you meet certain things in that they're saying it's 100, all of your students qualify for that. So when we look at our property rates, the 100% isn't an actual 100% on those 4 schools.
So you know what the actual rate is?
We do know what it is.
School to school.
Yes.
They range between 88 to 92. They're pretty high. They're not
Yeah,
high.
they're obviously our highest because they meet the criteria to qualify. Any other questions on boundaries?
Are you getting any feedback, positive or negative, on these boundaries?
Well, we had 1 or 2. It was, and honestly, we had 74 community opportunities for folks to give feedback. Honestly, since the board approved that, I don't know about your guys' office, I've had 12 conversations. Only one that was, you probably want to send me a Christmas card for the most part, but it's positive. I mean, honestly, it's the folks I think recognize, hey, it's not an easy process, and that we're not always going to make everyone happy, but we want to try to take feedback and collectively come up with some things.
How many students roughly do they impact with changes? I mean, was it 100, 300?
No. Do you know off the top of your head, I'm going to say 89? Is it? It's on the chart. Yeah, we have an updated chart. Let's bring that up. Great point.
So roughly less than 100.
Yeah, they're about 50% down, about 70 from.
So 120 out of 8,900 students. So it was, if you want 120, then by God, that was, and we recognize it. That's why it was a very important thing that we communicated and worked through with folks. You can look here of the scenarios. We went through and poked 78 holes in them to try to make sure, with this data. So looking at the schools of the different scenarios, how they were impacted, what we anticipated, the free reduced lunch percentages, all the different parts of that. So you can look, that's all on our district website. So, anything else on boundary lines? Yes.
Another statistic which might be able to get from the Census Bureau, I'm sure that you couldn't generate yourself. I'd like to see a comparison by the districts, by the elementary districts, of what percentage are owner-occupied homes and what percentage are rental homes. And you can probably get that from the census, although it would be, only every 10 years and
Right.
5 years old when they do release it.
Right. Dawn, could you and your department look at that'd be some interesting data. The board did approve our boundary lines here in September, but that's something we can definitely look at.
That also, the higher percentage of rare occupied homes, those people can be very transient and can cause a lot of change in your other numbers going up and down from year to year.
We have a transient population, and we
And,
recognize that.
That would take in those families that don't have children, and those families that children go to private school or homeschool.
Be some correlations in the record. So, Okay, let's go, so our reading, can you bring up just reading, I'll turn over here to Brian. The bottom line, our number one goal is to ensure that all of our students are reading at or above grade level. It's something that we are making improvements. Is it happening as quickly as we would all like? No. How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? Rome wasn't built in a day. There's just a lot of different parts to it. So our big picture here is that J.C. Reeds, our staff on opening session, we had them outline J.C. Reeds at Atkins Stadium. But our mission, we say it is possible. It's not impossible. But 100% of our students are reading at or above grade level. And the kind of 4 factors. I'll let Brian go into these a little bit more and the plans. But from 80,000 feet view, there's kind of 2 primary elements. Number 1, when students are moving from learning to read and then reading to learn. And those are 4 fundamental, I don't want to say benchmarks, but core principles. And we know it starts from birth. And there's research that would say if you would read to your child, before they're born and in the stomach of the mother, etc., whether you chose to do that or not. But from there until kindergarten, that foundational and exposing them. We want to make sure that we're getting it right. Your research would say that kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade is where students have the greatest opportunity to learn how to read. And when you combine that with starting at home, with parents reading with their children, it just even solidifies it and it makes it that much stronger. So that through 2nd grade, we want to make sure that we are getting it right. But we also recognize there may be some students that are behind after the 2nd grade. So that 3 through 5, 6 through 12 of the catch up we're needing. So then once they learn how to read, then reading to learn. We know it is a fundamental element. You could have the greatest lesson in 8th grade math in connecting with kids, but word problems, if they're not able to read and comprehend and think critically, that lesson is not going to be as effective as the expected outcome for that teacher. So it's all tied together, and we are and it's tied to, honestly, student behaviors, graduation rate, attendance rate. I've shared before that I've gone to middle school. Students that make poor choices and that are in school suspension. As a general rule, 100% of the students are below grade reading level that are in school suspension. So there is a correlation there that we are super excited with this. So Dr. Schindorf, who's our Chief of Learning, if you would kind of give an overview, maybe a little bit more into these, and then any questions you guys have, we'll sure address them.
Sure, so you all heard Larry say that we have a stretch goal of 100% of our kids reading on grade level. So I would hope that what people say is, well, how are you going to do that? Is it just a pie-in-the-sky goal, or do you have a plan? What are you going to do about it? Well, we do have a plan. It's a very detailed plan. And so I won't go into all the stuff, but if Ryan scrolls down, this is, you can go onto our website and you can look to see what exactly is it you're doing to teach kids to read. Because there is an incredible amount of stuff that takes place on a daily basis in order for us to teach kids to read. Teaching kids to read is not just a simple process. If it was a simple process, it wouldn't be an issue here in our city. It wouldn't be an issue across the nation. It is a very complex issue, and so there is a lot of work that happens behind the process of teaching kids to read. The average person doesn't care to sit and read all of this stuff. So if you'll go up and just blow up our card. But what I've done here is we've created this card, and we're getting them published that we can use, is try to take all of that stuff that you're just scrolling through, and let's try to simplify what does it really mean. And so we've categorized it to say, where are you spending all your time and money? And so we've narrowed it down to, really for us in our program, it really comes down to 4 things. That we provide a rigorous, engaging instruction in the classroom, which means everywhere from the details down here, good solid lesson planning by teachers, good instructional practices, the frameworks that you use in the classroom, the intervention models that you use, and so there's a lot behind what that instruction looks like. We invest an incredible amount of time and energy into a quality curriculum and resources. To be honest with you, we have not had a good, solid curriculum in the past, and that has changed. We do now. We have already updated our science curriculum, our ELA curriculum, our math curriculum, and next year we're doing social studies. And so we invest a lot of time to ensure that our curriculum is aligned with the state standards, and it is a very solid curriculum. We spend a lot of time and money on professional development because we know that if we want our teachers to be the best that they can and to incorporate the instruction and the resources in the curriculum, they need to have PD. So we have a very solid and very thorough and comprehensive professional development plan, both district level PD and PD happens at the building level. And then we have support for struggling readers. This is relatively new over the last couple of years. Our title schools have access to federal funding, which means they get additional funding over non-title schools. This year, all of our elementary schools, all 11 our title schools, they have extra federal funding, and they take that funding and they hire reading specialists, those that have been trained on working with struggling readers. So students are engaged in Tier 1 instruction in the classroom, but if you're a struggling reader, you also get additional literacy support by the literacy specialists. And every one of our elementary schools this year have a literacy specialist, so we're excited about that. So a lot of stuff behind those. I just made it sound really simple. It's not simple, but that's really where we invest our time and money, is in those 4 bullets. And then, as Larry said, we believe in this process of getting kids in, foundational piece from birth to kindergarten, getting them in and doing the foundational skills and teaching them to read by 2nd grade. 2nd or 3rd grade is typically when you see most kids becoming proficient readers. And then having a support system for not just to continue to develop those kids in reading, but what are we doing in the upper grades to support kids who are struggling. So it's a very comprehensive, but we tried to simplify it so that, because as I said, the majority of people don't want to read all that stuff, but I encourage you to read all that stuff. It's good stuff. It is a solid plan and very research-based, and we're excited about it. So excited about the process and of ensuring 100% of kids reading at grade level. Questions about that? Questions about our literacy? Yeah.
I'm curious if you have strategies when we talk about supporting struggling readers that doesn't end up essentially being attractive because
Say that another way. I'm not sure I understand.
Is there a way of providing support to struggling readers to get them so that they're not essentially tracked at a lower
So, okay, so can we get to them earlier so that they don't get into a trap as struggling reader through elementary?
yeah, throughout the process, they're being, how are they being brought up to, as part of providing additional services, they're not being away from.
Absolutely. So what we say is this, that we believe, and what we call it Tier 1 instruction. Tier 1 instruction is the everyday with the regular classroom teacher getting the regular literacy. So we believe that if we develop those classroom teachers to ensure that they're using good formative practices in the classroom, the majority of kids are never going to need to be pulled out. But we also know this. We have about 50% of our kids reading on grade level, which means 50% of them are struggling readers. That's a challenge for us. And you might say, gosh, why would half of our kids be struggling readers? I mean, the majority of you probably think, when I was in school, I don't remember this being such a big deal. I don't remember there being a huge structure. I don't remember struggling to read. I don't remember a bunch of kids who couldn't read. We're just in a new day. We're in a time when too many of our kids don't have this piece right here where you did. You likely had literature in your home. You likely had conversation and dialogue and played games. Some of you, the majority of you, probably everyone but Ryan, probably showed up at kindergarten singing Conjunction Junction. Well, guys, they don't show up singing Conjunction Junction anymore, and it's partly because we don't have this foundational piece in the home where kids are engaged in that dialogue and conversations and experiences and exposures. So what we want to do is, when they get into kindergarten 1st and 2nd, is let's get them into Tier 1. Let's give them solid instructional practices so we don't ever have to get them to that track that you're talking about. So it'd be not a lot of kindergartners are in the track of the struggling readers. We give them time and we try to build them and grow them first, because we don't want to pull them out. We don't want them to end up as sometimes they get into special education, sometimes they become a struggling reader, but we use kindergarten as that buffer, and let's hope that we can get them where they need to be in kindergarten. And then by 1st grade, though, you're still a struggling reader. You better intervene pretty intensely, because if we let you go much longer, researchers say that it becomes much more difficult to teach you to read once you get to 3rd grade. So does that answer what you're saying? We try in kindergarten too. And we're also doing this. All of our elementary schools now are title schools. One of the pieces that they have is a parent engagement piece to that, which means we are reaching out to parents and say, we don't want kids to be in a track of struggling readers. We want to intervene quicker, so we're bringing parents in and educating them to say, What is it we can do to help support you at home? Let us show you what it looks like to read to your child. So rather than just taking your child to the library and saying, I hope you read books and hope you do better, what are the questions you can ask at home? What are the experiences you can do with them when you have a book in front of them? What are the questions you can ask and do the compare and contrast and that kind of stuff? So we're trying to educate parents earlier so we can attack sooner.
Before you ask that, just to follow up on that, the delicate line is if I have an 8th grader who's reading at a 2nd grade level, we get the fine line of there needs to be a sense of urgency. One, why did it take until he's in 8th grade? But we have the variety of reasons, whether they just moved here or we weren't able to get the calls that needed. But that tracking per se, the definition of that, there needs to be a sense of urgency. I'm doing that child a disservice if we don't specifically really target to try to at least get it from 2nd to 3rd, from 3rd to 4th at a great reading level. So it's a fine line, and we recognize that. But I think Brian hit the nail on the head.
The only one thing I would like to add too is that when you were talking about when we were younger, it wasn't such an issue. The grade level equivalencies or the grade level definition when we were growing up is not near as rigorous as the standard that's being applied now. The goal is college and career ready, and so it's a much higher standard of reading. And I think our public needs to understand that too. If we applied the old standards, we would have a much higher percentage of kids reading on grade level. So.
You talked about teacher development at the early grade level. How is this done and where is this done?
Okay, so we have two components to that. One is that we hire, unfortunately, a lot of new staff, and that is part of our issue. When you bring on new staff, you have to ensure that they have the skills they need to get into their classroom and use these practices. So we have a new teacher training process, and they engage in a year-long process their first year of literacy instruction. We have at Dix Road, we have our curriculum coordinators and our literacy professional development person. She designs that PD. They come out of the classroom once a month and they spend the day with her. She does the training, and she goes into the classroom with them. She does observation. She gives them guidance. So we have an ongoing PD process with our new staff. And then new this year is we don't want to leave anything to chance. So we have designed every first grade teacher in this district this year is engaged in a year-long professional development opportunity required that they attend with our literacy experts to discuss what the literacy components look like. So they go in and they watch other teachers teach it, they have conversations about what it looks like, they set goals, go back to the classroom and make that change in their classroom. So it's an ongoing, and we're doing that with our first grade teachers. We chose first grade because the reality is majority of kids learn to read in first grade. They do. And we don't have the capacity. We'd like to do K1 and 2, but we don't have the capacity and staffing to do that. So we're starting with first grade. Next year we'll bump back to kindergarten.
So time-wise, is this in addition to the teacher's other responsibilities?
It is. It is.
During the day or evening?
It's during the, no, during the day. So they come out, which is an issue because you then put a substitute in the classroom. And those are typically the best learning days. But we'd rather do that during the day than to say, come sit through an evening class, because the average person isn't excited about that. So we do it during the day, it's job day.
So in kindergarten, everyone would be kindergarten.
Everybody is.
And in first grade, some children would move into tier 2.
In addition to tier 1, no child is excluded from tier 1.
You said 50% of students are struggling readers. And what's the cutoff? How do you define struggling reader?
It's based on an assessment that we give that basically says if you are sitting in first grade, this is the Lexile, it's called the Lexile level. It means this is the level of reading that you should be at. So kids who are at or above that level, we consider at or above. But if you are below, then we would consider you to be a struggler. Now, obviously, when I say struggling, you could be, I'm just a little bit behind. I'm really not. And there are some who are. So, yeah. So when we say 50% struggling, it doesn't mean 50% of our kids can't read. It means we're a little concerned because you're still struggling with, doing vocabulary and fluency. You're still worried about that. So, yes, good point.
What I'm asking is, do we really have enough staff to serve everyone who could benefit from tier 2 in first grade and second grade?
I wouldn't say we have enough staff. We have right now, I believe it's 12, I could be just off there, about 12 reading specialists. We have enough staff in terms of tier 1 classroom teachers. Could we use more reading specialists? Absolutely. I don't know that we ever would have enough. But are we This is the first year that I'm confident that we are meeting the needs of the majority of our struggling readers. We have not in the past, but this year I'm confident that we are.
Quick question on, work through K, really, by the time kids go into just in public schools, it's accumulated. And I think everybody knows that early exposure is probably the best way to get kids interested in reading. Do we still have like a parents and teachers program that kind of helps encourage that as well?
We do, and that program is housed at the Southwest Early Childhood Center, and so one of the pieces that we use is that families who agree to take a preschool seat agree to sign up to be part of our parents and teachers program. And they go into the home, and they work with those parents, and they observe kids, they help parents with these are some of the activities you do. Very effective program, yes we do. It's one of the assessments.
Yes, so memory exams, I noticed when results come in, teachers don't tell you what level you're reading at, they just kind of give you a number, like you're above or below. Students, like, for the example, I don't really know what level I'm at, above or normal or below, so it's
Yeah, so we are working with teachers on what's called parent reports. So the iReady system itself provides those reports, and we've been working with teachers to make sure that we're reporting information of value to the parents as opposed to saying you're a less than 300 goal. That doesn't mean anything to the average person. So we're working on that, but also we are now on the grade card. We have decided that we are going to start putting on the grade card the level where kids are, what in reference that is in terms of where they should be, so that we're putting on the grade card. And the other thing is we don't just use iReady in the primary grade, we also use the next steps assessment, which is much more detailed. Literally, the teacher can tell you exactly what your child can do in terms of phonemic awareness, what vowels and consonants, and where they're struggling. So it is getting much more specific. That's the first year though, so we're just about there. So the patients will
Data chats too. All the coaches have been shared data chats, how a teacher, a model for sharing, a teacher could share with a student as well.
So what we're trying to do though is get to where when parents come to parent-teacher conferences and sitting in front of the first grade teacher, it's more than just your child's 300, but they can literally talk about what that 300 means in comparison to other kids, but also let me get specific about what your child is really struggling with and what their strengths are. So we're getting better at that.
Are you doing anything about rate, are you tracking rate of progress?
Progress for the reading lesson.
Are they, if the child is behind and there may be progress, but their progress is slow and they're falling further and further behind, they're not catching up. I haven't seen that measured or talked about.
Yeah. If you were to go into any of our elementary schools right now, there is a room, and typically it's the instructional coach's room, sometimes it's the teacher's workroom. You'll notice that they have what's called assessment walls. Now, on those assessment walls, there are no names because we're trying to protect kids, but there are charts that show where everyone should be, and it shows where they fall, and that is what we call the data war rooms, which where teachers go on a regular basis. They go in, they sit down, they know who the kids are by numbers and by color. They know what kids belong to them, and they have snapshots of that. That's here's where we're beginning the year, but then they make those adjustments on a regular basis. Every couple of weeks, they're adjusting where those kids have gone, and they're monitoring whether kids are making progress or not making progress, and that's where they determine, we better pick this child up. Unfortunately, they're not where we need to be. We need to pick up these 2 or 3 kids, and these 3 are really made a lot of progress. They can just stay in tier 1 and get them out of the track. That happens on about every 2 weeks. The words. Good question.
Okay, thank you, Brian, for an overview on reading. So, it's 7:45, so we've kind of covered on an update on the construction project, boundary lines, reading. What questions do you guys have on any of those topics or any other topics that you'd like to touch on? Yeah.
New high school construction.
Yeah.
Time and money.
Say that again?
Time and money.
Time and money.
Are we on time? Are we in the budget?
Are we on time or are we in the budget? On time. We are on time to open up next fall. Fall of 19 as far as August. The part of the gymnasium will not be finished at Capital City High School until January 20. Okay, we knew that at the beginning. As far as what the timeline, As far as being able to start school there, yes, they are. I talked to Robert Nessetia, we are AD at Capital City High School. As far as with, we have science in the gymnasium and Thomas Jefferson Gymnasium. How that is coordinated as far as athletics, more importantly on the day-to-day physical education without having a gymnasium. So they're working through that now, but yes, we are on time. The money aspect, I believe we are right on with that. I believe I've not been made aware of anything that we are outside.
We're in a good position. It's first week of October this week. We're starting to feel the weather change. We are getting close to getting that building started, which is going to be critical. We can have some savings. We don't have to take all the masonry and put a bunch of things like that. So we've got a plan for that. If we don't, then that's what we'll really start saving and taking up time to do it. We feel really good for the city.
Good. What other questions or comments or anything like to talk about? Yes.
So, I'm not sure if this is true or not, but there is a like when we're going around Simonson that it happens to either have flat screens on the classrooms and just not flat screens. A lot of students like this.
That they're going to have flat screens as far as computers or as far as the wall projections. Well, you know, it's an old school high school, so they stuff. We're taking VCR. No, there's not. Can you like that? I don't think there's any that is a rumor. They're not going to have any different type of old projector.
We are doing the same size, same exact smart panels in every single classroom, JC High and Capital City. Yeah.
So you can throw cold water on through. We were very, very conscious of, because the folks said that at the beginning, the have not stuff in the old school. Jeff City High School is going to be awesome. It really is. The renovations there, it gives me goosebumps because it truly is going to be awesome. So when you hear those folks that maybe feed that camp, that's just not true. And we understand time will tell. Access to God. Good question.
Are you gonna have grand openings for both the old renovation and the new one?
The Jeff City High School, as far as the renovation, because of the renovation, yes, we're gonna have something there. We will at both. We had the kickoff as far as with the groundbreaking on a cold, cool day last, I don't know what the date was, last spring at Capital City High School. But once we get there, yes, we're gonna have that, and same thing at Jeff City High School. We looked here this fall, coordinating something with that at Jeff City High School. It just did not work with construction. And we could have had something kind of off, hey, here it is, and everybody can look at it. We thought it'd be more effective once folks can see and some tours and stuff. So yes, we will. Sorry. Or you want to? Yeah.
What programs have you made with faculty and staff diversity with the new hiring?
With regards to?
People of color.
Right, I don't know that, but just mean,
Have you made progress?
I don't, Shelby, whether we have any numbers, we are starting, I think our first meeting of our equity council is on October 18th, is that correct, Sylvia, I believe? As far as knowing an actual percent, one of our goals has been that our staff reflect our student population. So to know specific, do we have any, Shelby's our director of HR?
I've been working on Monday when we share our staffing report that'll have all of our statistics on what our application demographics look like as well as what our hiring demographics look like. We've been working very hard at recruiting in college education departments around the state of Missouri, and unfortunately there's a decline in people who are entering field education. So that presents lots of challenges, not only having our staff population there, our student population, but just having teachers that want to go into the field. So,
We've had continual conversations with Lincoln. A year ago last spring, Lincoln had 0 minority candidates in the college education. Yeah, so I mean, there were 0 candidates. So we want that, and so they're working, and we are, they're having some of the same challenges. So. Yeah.
I just mentioned where I attended last week, the School Board Association. There was a session, there was more than one session, right? There was a session about some schools that are doing a grow your own program. But what was interesting, and I didn't really have a chance to talk to Shelby or share that, some really great creative things.
But what was interesting was that what you heard is that this is a nationwide issue, that schools of every shape and size, every kind of location that they live in, and Missouri, of course, is specific to their schools that represent there, but again, everybody's saying the same thing. And we're trying to look at bringing our faculty population more in line with our student population, but there just are not candidates coming in the field, and there's a big concern in the future about the shortage of people coming to that profession. It's a real issue, not just for us, but for well, we haven't implemented anything specifically, but I think there's some good models out there.
And a lot of colleges and universities are looking at options. If we have a professional that works for us and wants to be a certified teacher, they're offering, instead of having actors who quit their job, student teach in order to get their certification, they're able to stay employed as a career professional. So we're trying to identify those people that are interested in the field of education, and they're looking at every opportunity that they can possibly become certified. Missouri is fortunate that we have some options where if you have a college degree, you can take, it's called the ACT exam. So there's ways outside putting in your more hours for our years of college education and where you get to choose to fit. But again, that practical, isn't it practical piece also presents some challenges. So the state of Missouri is looking at creative ways to try to get people certified in the classroom, but it's still, you still have to have people. And so the supply has to be there to meet our demand, and that's what the gap is right.
Desi's been very progressive, and they have represented that as not, so they're being creative in terms of ways to try to work with districts, work with, colleges, try to design some programs that might help.
Even at the high school students might be interested, but we have to do a good job of championing our profession to make people want to look at education. And so that's, that's something that we actually have a product that we want to be part of.
In regards to that, and road your own, back in our days when I was in high school, there was I believe it was all a foundation funded. I don't think the school, I think the school district provided the administration personnel. To graduates from our high school could apply for a loan program for college. And then if they came back and taught 5 or 10 years, at the school, every year they taught so that loan was forgiven. And I think it was all funded by foundation money. But if you taught 5 years, I think it was back at that school, that it turned into what the scholarship that we were given.
What's we have a foundation, and whether that's an area that they'd be interested in. I mean, Shelby and her, the farm, that is a priority to try to improve on that. Is it happening overnight? It's not, but that's something we can definitely look on that. I know, in the medical field, that happens. And as far as you come back to your residency, and you'll agree to stay a certain amount of time. So I know there's been conversations about that. I know there's some schools. I know Fort Zumwalt in St. Louis is one that, as far as earlier, and I talked to the superintendent 2 years ago. The sustainability of those work better some than others. We don't want it to be just a check a box, because it does sound good. Grow your own, there's just a lot of different parts to it. So I know they are looking at what we can do to try to improve on that, and that's an area that
Of course, those who did come back, they had to pay back their loan.
Absolutely.
With interest. So
Absolutely.
that helped keep the funding going if they didn't come back.
Absolutely. Okay, anything else? Again, reminders, it's 7:55, so I'll stay here as long as you'd like. I want you to feel like, oh my, I want this to be an informal act to go, and stuff. Come and go as you please, with us in the future, so. I'll say after unless you got anything else. I appreciate you guys being here. We're in this together. We're stronger together, and I appreciate your willingness to be here. So have a great day and have a great weekend. Grab a cup of coffee.